Our music style, it's universal because it's pop, it's R&B, it's rock, it's soul. I mean, it's all of that combined.
Blaque, Atlanta, Georgia, active since 1997, featuring Brandy Williams, Shamari Fairs, and the late Natina Reed, rest in peace. They were the embodiment of late 90s R&B, three young women with undeniable talent, infectious energy, and the star power of a multi-platinum mentor pushing them forward. Blaque, an acronym for believing in life and achieving quest for unity, wasn't just another girl group struggling to break through the noise. With the backing of TLC's Left Eye, they were groomed to become the next big thing. Shamari Fairs, Brandy Williams, and Natina Reed, three distinct personalities fused together to form a sound that was playful yet polished, edgy yet accessible. Their debut single, 808, a bass-heavy, futuristic anthem, dominated the charts in 1999. It was the perfect storm of youthful charisma, a catchy hook, and Left Eye's undeniable influence. Blaque wasn't just a trio, they were a movement. Their self-titled debut album went platinum, riding high on the success of not just 808, but also Bring It All to Me. Everything about Blaque seemed set for superstardom. They were positioned as TLC's successor, but without the internal drama and industry battles that had plagued their mentors. For a moment, it seemed like the group was unstoppable. A fresh, bold sound paired with a polished image that resonated across radio waves and MTV screens alike. But the industry is as ruthless as it is glamorous. Blaque's meteoric rise was followed by a series of missteps, missed opportunities, and tragic losses that left them struggling to keep their place in the spotlight. After the success of their debut, they quickly found themselves fighting against the industry that was evolving faster than they could adapt. Their second album, Blackout, saw label disputes that delayed its release, ultimately derailing their momentum. Attempts to reinvent themselves were met with label interference, and their signature sound grew stale in an era rapidly shifting toward a new millennium sound. Even with a few bright moments, acting roles in Bring It On, occasional reunions, and heartfelt attempts to revive their brand, Blaque never reclaimed the magic of their debut. Worse yet, tragedy would strike the group in 2012 when Natina Reed, the group's lyrical force and vibrant personality, tragically lost her life. What should have been a tale of resilience and evolution became one of unrealized potential and haunting what-ifs. Today's feature explores the rise and stunted growth of Blaque, a group that had everything in their favor, but whose journey was forever shadowed by missed opportunities, industry turmoil, and heartbreaking loss. What happened? Let's talk about it. Salute to Saint Laurent 989 on IG for this request. It's your boy JC StuntedGrowthMusic. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Blaque's journey began in Atlanta in the mid-1990s, rooted in the friendship between Shamari Fairs and Natina Reed. After early musical ventures, Reed met Ronald Lopes, brother of Lisa Left Eye Lopes, while singing jingles to make ends meet. Recognizing her talent, Ronald introduced Reed to his sister Lisa, who was seeking new talent for her production company, Left Eye Productions. Reed proposed forming a girl group, bringing in Fairs, who then invited Brandy Williams to complete the trio. Thus, Blaque was officially formed in 1996, named after Ronald's production company Blaque House. With Lisa's mentorship, the group quickly gained traction, leading to a deal with Columbia Records. Their debut album, released in 1999, featured hits like 808 and Bring It All to Me, propelling them into the spotlight. Blaque's unique blend of R&B and pop, combined with their dynamic presence, set them apart in the music industry. Stunt number 1, label issues and delayed releases. For any artist, momentum is everything, and Blaque had it in abundance after their debut album achieved platinum success in 1999. But momentum is fragile, and for Blaque, it wouldn't last. Their highly anticipated second album, Blackout, was completed and ready to launch more than 2 years later in 2001. But behind the scenes, their label, Columbia Records, was dealing with a changing music industry and internal shifts that affected artists' priorities. Blaque found themselves trapped in a situation where their album was delayed repeatedly, stuck in limbo with no clear release date. The album was eventually shelved, leaving fans confused and the group frustrated. being under the mentorship of Lisa Left Eye Lopes should have been an advantage, but it also meant facing the pressures of being compared to TLC. Despite the star power and connections, Blaque discovered that even the biggest names couldn't always protect them from industry politics. The delays not only killed their momentum, but also led to a loss of confidence within the group. Songs once fresh and groundbreaking now felt dated by the time they were eventually released to a limited audience. In a desperate attempt to keep their presence alive, Blaque eventually released Blackout exclusively in Japan in 2002, but the damage had been done. Their core fan base had moved on and newer groups were emerging to fill the void they left behind. Without consistent releases or a clear direction, Blaque began to fade from the mainstream conversation. What should have been a triumphant return became a whisper in a rapidly changing music landscape. For a platinum-selling group, they were poorly managed in this sense. The industry had moved on and Blaque was struggling to keep up, powerless against the forces that control their fate. Stunt number 2 struggles to evolve and reinvent. In the ever-shifting world of music, staying relevant is a constant battle. For Blaque, the early 2000s brought a rapidly changing industry landscape that left them struggling to adapt. After their sophomore album Blackout was shelved in the United States and only saw limited release in Japan, the group faced a harsh reality. What had once made them unique now felt like a copy of something already done. The sound that once captured audiences was now overshadowed by the rise of other girl groups and the emergence of a new generation of solo stars dominating the charts. Blaque would attempt to reinvent themselves multiple times. In 2003, they announced a third album, Torch, that was meant to showcase a more mature and edgy side of the group. They even filmed a music video for the single I'm Good, which appeared on the Honey movie soundtrack starring Jessica Alba. But despite the exposure, the album itself never saw an official release date due to label complications and shifting priorities within their management. Every attempt at a comeback seemed to be met with another industry setback. The group's image also became a challenge. Initially seen as the younger, energetic successor of TLC, Blaque's efforts to mature their sound often conflicted with their established image. They were either too safe to compete with edgier acts like Destiny's Child, or too commercial for the emerging neo-soul movement led by artists like Alicia Keys and Jill Scott. Blaque was caught between an image they had outgrown and an industry that had already moved on. For Blaque, trying to evolve became a double-edged sword. Too much change and they lost their identity, too little and they were labeled as outdated. By the mid-2000s, they were trapped in a cycle of unrealized potential, their once bright future slowly fading around a ton of new acts and sounds becoming popular. Stunt number 3, missing the window. In the music industry, timing is everything. A group can be incredibly talented, but if they miss their moment, the world quickly moves on. For Blaque, that moment came and went between the success of their 1999 album and their stall release of their second album, Blackout. Then, no focus pushed to reinvent them. As the group waited for their label to figure out its priorities, the industry around them was already changing. The early 2000s saw the rise of new stars. Destiny's Child redefined the girl group landscape, while solo acts like Aaliyah and Beyoncé began to dominate the charts. Blaque's problem wasn't just label delays, it was their inability to adapt. Their sound, a blend of R&B and pop with a touch of hip-hop, felt fresh in 1999, but by 2001 it already seemed dated. Their image, once seen as youthful and dynamic, was now caught in an awkward space, too mature for teen audiences, but not evolved enough to compete with the edgier, more sophisticated artists taking over. Even their attempt to reintroduce themselves with the single I'm Good from the Honey soundtrack failed to recapture the mainstream's attention. Complicating things further, Lisa Left Eye Lopes, once a powerful mentor, began to focus on her own solo ambitions and personal struggles, leaving Blaque without the guidance they once depended on. As opportunities slipped by, the group found themselves trapped in limbo between past success and a future that never quite materialized. Their brand was recognizable, but their music felt stuck in time. By the time they attempted a reunion in 2007, it was too late. Blaque's window had closed. They weren't a fresh, young act anymore. They were a nostalgic memory of the late 1990s. All in all, Blaque's story is an example of how quickly momentum can fade in the music industry. They were a trio blessed with talent, a platinum debut, and the mentorship of Left Eye, an unbeatable combination on paper. But beneath the surface, their journey was marked by label delays, missed opportunities, and a tragic final chapter. Their signature sound grew stale in a rapidly changing industry, and their attempts to adapt came too late. They'd missed their window, and with it, their chance at sustained success. Natina Reed's tragic death in 2012 was a haunting reminder of their rise and fall, echoing the loss of their mentor in a chilling twist of fate. For Shamari Fairs and Brandy Williams, the dream of Blaque lived on, but without Natina, it was always incomplete, a reflection of their promise that never reached full potential. Salute, much respect, but for these reasons, their musical growth was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.